I woke up just in time to see the sunrise this morning. It was beautiful. Seeing Annapurna 3 shine with the first rays of light was an amazing experience. Ngawal is a small village of about 3 dozen houses clustered together. There is a sustainable amount of agricultural land, a school providing primary education. Coming up the Annapurna trek, people hike to Upper Pisang and to Ngawal instead of the lower route that is now mostly ruined by vehicles. Plus the high route also gives an exceptional view of the Annapurna. Good morning. Woke up this morning to a beautiful sunrise about 6. It was a beautiful moment, and again I went back to sleep and I woke up late and I had my breakfast, yak tukpa. It's about 10 and I'm heading to Manang right now. 2 hours walk away. The legs not alright, but should be good. Walking towards Manang, no problem in that. 2 hours, and we'll be staying there for a while, for a couple of hours, have my lunch, and hopefully walk for another hour to Khangsar and stay there for the night, because tomorrow morning I'll be heading up to Tilicho base camp, Tilicho Lake base camp, where I'm planning to set up a camp to get used to the atmosphere, get ready for Dolpo. Yeah, but it's been a great day. Sun shining bright, it's beautiful. Looking back to Ngawal village, it's amazing. I see a mountain there. What's that? The trail is more deserted now. It's dusty, and the hills surrounding are slowly eroding away. Village of Manji. At Braka, there was a new gompa or a monastery being built. The architectures were beautiful. I believed it was done to attract more holiday makers to Manang. The trail was not just for trekkers anymore. These days, many Nepalese themselves come here on vehicles to vacate their holidays. Arrive in Manang in about 30 minutes. It's taken me longer than expected. It's supposed to be about 2 hours journey from Ngawal to Manang, but it's gonna take me about 3.5 because of the blisters that I have in my feet. With my slippers on, it's difficult to walk, and it's even more difficult with the boots on. So I'm letting my feet breathe, but it's quite tough walking. Difficult. I have to walk slowly. Just an update. In Manang, I met many foreigners. Most of them were acclimatizing themselves here for the trek ahead. After my lunch in Manang, I crossed the Mersangdi River towards the Annapurna Lake, which was very muddy. A small reservoir of water below the Annapurna Himal. A part of me wanted to set my camp here, but I had not carried any food this time. So I hiked further up to Khangsar. I always thought this was a remote area, small huts and a few amounts of people living that ideal nomadic life. But boy, I was wrong. A road has been carved further up and vehicles bring every goods up the valley. Bottom line, service was amazing. The old village was nearby, and you could somehow still get that rustic vibe. The Tibetan influenced lifestyle was still present. Good morning! Heading up to Tilicho Lake from Khangsar. We'll be staying at the Tilicho Base Camp Hotel for lunch, quick lunch, and be heading up to Tilicho Lake. Sun shining bright, but it's a cloudy day today. Not much to see in terms of mountain views and surroundings. It's quite cloudy. I hope it does clear in the day. Arriving in Sri Karka, which is about an hour and a half away from Khangsar, and heading up to Tilicho Lake, where I'll be setting up the camp for tonight, and hopefully tomorrow. I'm looking forward to cross the Mesokanto Pass towards Jomsom. Yeah, that's great. Feels lovely. Back on trail. Feet is feeling better. I like the vibe of it, you know. Beautiful hills. Heading up to Tilicho Lake. 15 minutes into the journey, and arriving Sriharka from Khangsar. It's amazing. Ooh, good morning. Yeah, it's 8:10 in the morning. It's great. I think this is day 19 on the trail. Feeling great, as always. It's amazing. The breakfast today was awesome. I had a sukha roti with eggs. It was amazing. Today would be a tough day because I had planned to reach the lake by 4 p.m. The road was carved a few kilometers further to the next village of Sriharka. There was a monastery here by the road. It had statues and writings that dated hundreds of years old. After crossing the small metal bridge and climbing the winding trail, I head into the scree. First bridge of the day! But the slope above and below held loose rocks. Anytime everything could go off. At some sections you need trek poles to get that extra base of support. I can see some blue ship right there. See if I can zoom in. Some 2 hours in the hike before the trails narrowed and became more rugged. I had sightings of some Norse once again. Steady boy. Everything here is eroding away. The terrain is arid. Walking along the sketchy path, walking along the landslide area here. It's scary, right? What a slope. What a slope. But it's beautiful, I tell you that. Just looking back down the valley. Tilicho River. Landfall area, and I'm heading this way towards Tilicho Lake. It's a beautiful day. It's amazing. During the day, the sky cleared. It was warm. At 10, I had arrived at Tilicho Base Camp Hotel. At 4,100 meters, the facility you get here is superb. I ordered my lunch. It took an hour and a half to be ready. At least the sun was up and warm, and I was glad that the food was fresh and hot. I enjoyed my set of dal bhat happily with my hands. I had filtered 2 liters of water during lunch, which I would use tonight and tomorrow. At 12 in the noon, I was now slowly climbing to the lake. I had just ate 2 plates of dal bhat. The climb became difficult but progressed as I burned off the food. Many people were now coming down from the lake. The higher I went, the colder it became. The hike was tough due to the sudden gain in altitude from the base camp to the lake. Tilicho Peak was now closer than ever. The wind built up and the clouds came in. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, arriving here at the Tilicho Lake. Very close, I can already see the water. I'm maybe about 15 minutes away from the main lake. What I see is a small pond or maybe the running water from the lake. But yeah, it feels cold actually. It's freezing. You can see the mountains behind me covered with clouds. It's all white. It feels freezing. Tilicho Peak, I think. But yeah, it's a great feeling to be here. Camping here for the night. 4,900 meters above sea level. The highest lake in the world. And the plan is to cross Mesokanto Pass tomorrow morning, and hope it all goes well. And tomorrow night I should be in Jomsom. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. But it's really cold. Yeah. Not sure if you can see, but it's starting. Yeah, it's all white particles. I think it's starting to snow. It's starting to It's cold. It's really cold, man. It's snowing up there. I can feel it. Feel it. It's really cold, but sun shining up here, and what a beautiful view to Tilicho Lake. It's like it's about 4:45, and the weather is not looking good. Clouds coming in from the valley below, and I think it's snowing up there in the mountains. It was snowing before when I was coming up, and it's all cloudy, and it's really windy and it's cold. And I was about to set camp somewhere down there, but I think it's not a good idea to be setting up a tarp. So I've decided to sleep over here in the tea house, small tea house, a nice shelter. They have some shelter down there as well, but I'll be staying here with the people. But it's really cold, lots of clouds, fog, mist, whatever we call it. It's coming up here, and it's windy. You can still see the lake below. Yeah, but it's really cold. The next day I woke up early. It was a quiet morning. The lake was amazingly still. The peak of Tilicho right there on the left. Its glacier below and the melted water forming the lake. It had snowed throughout the night, but it wasn't anything significant. Good morning. It's all snowy around here. 25 minutes away from the tea shop up in the lake, and I'm heading off for Mesokanto Pass, and I hope it works out well for me today. It's a beautiful morning, no wind, clear blue sky, sun shining from the back, sun shining behind me. It's a beautiful place, but it's cold. Feels amazing. I hope I do find the right trail along the way, not missing out any sections, you know, and hopefully reach Jomsom tonight. Yeah. 30 minutes into the hike, I stopped to take off the layers I had added on the last night. The sun was up and it was getting warm. Tilicho Peak was very vibrant and colored gold. I think I was seeing Nilgiri as well, far west. It was a beautiful sight. In the past 2 nights, I had spoken to some guides and the owners of the hotels I had stayed at, asking about the feasibility of the Mesokanto Pass, considered one of the roughest passes in Nepal. During this time of the year, they gave me a green light, but soon frowned upon when I told them I was on my own. It's gonna be a long day. From the lake, it's not a high pass. In fact, from the tea shop, if you look west towards the head of the lake, above you see the pass landmarked by a horn-shaped rock at an eye level. Alright, then the trail narrows here to maybe about a foot, and it might be difficult to navigate but we will get there. ACAP has recently added some poles colored blue on the metals as markers, but located them beyond where the eyes can see. You are very lucky if you find one and follow up with a second. Most poles are rusted, which blends with the rocks and the terrain. Even in snow it blends in well. This is when your compass and map reading skills come in hand. It's about your survival. Thank God, that's a relief. There's a signboard. It's Mesokanto Pass. I had to climb a small section of uphill before reaching Eastern Pass. This point was higher than Mesokanto, at about 5,300 meters. It had some prayer flags. I stopped for a break. I had 1 liter of water left in my bottle. I drank it with some biscuits. I noticed some glacial lakes to the north, and its glacier coming down from the Muktinath Himal range. Scary, man. I'm halfway through. What I need to do is go down this trail to the river. What I need to do is go down this trail to the river. Go down this trail to the river below. What I need to do is to go down this trail to the river below and climb up this hill again. There's a pass there, and this is very, very dangerous. Landslide prone, but I gotta do it, okay? I'm already 3 hours into the hike and there is no turning back. I gotta do this, make the pass and head down to Jomsom. It's a beautiful sunny day, but it's cold wind. Let's do it. This is when the trail got tricky. The poles vanished. It wasn't soft sand, there was no snow. The area was covered with fist-sized small rocks. One thing I knew was to head west, and that's what kept me on track. Although I did lose myself a couple of times. Now that the trail had arrows marked, it became easier to follow. But the terrain wasn't a walk in the park. It was still tough and rugged. One final look at the beautiful lake and I was headed down. It was a very steep section below the pass. Once that was over, it was a long way down to Jomsom. The trail diverted and winding across the hills, visible all the way down. Up here in Mesokanto Pass, 4.5 hours. Yeah, pretty long time. It was quite difficult navigating because there was no trail, and the poles they had were pretty far away, and it took a while to get on the trail. But yeah, finally here. It's 10:30 and heading down to Jomsom. I can see I think it's over there in the corner. But it's a long way down, about 2,400 meters of elevation loss. That's a lot of downhill and a lot of pressure on the knees as well. Hopefully we get there before 5. This is deserted, man. Look at the surroundings, it's just open. Crazy. This is going to be scary, right? Steep downhill all the way. Good luck to you, mate. It's gonna be a tough one. It's looking steep. It's crazy. But we gotta do what we gotta do, you know. Coming up here is only halfway through, man. Gotta get down to Jomsom safe. Whew. It's cold wind. Scary path. It's taken me about 30 minutes to hike down that steep section of the trail and come down here to the flat trail, which is easy to walk now, easy to access. Yeah, but that was a tough one. 30 minutes. The rough part should be over now, and a long hike down to Jomsom. Tilicho Lake, way back up again. You know, people do it this way as well. But me, I'm heading down to Jomsom right now. It's a long way down, but it feels amazing to be here, to have completed the difficult section, and just easy walk down the valley from here. It feels great. Sunny day, no wind right now. You can see some mountains. Oh yeah, it is windy. Yeah.
As I lost altitude, the trail became dusty. The sun was bright and it was getting very hot. I was out of water by now and had to drink from small creeks and streams along the way. The day was slowly coming to an end, but not my trail. At every turn I was expecting to see Jomsom, but it only led to more trails that made even more turns, making me have to walk briskly.
It's 2 in the afternoon and I haven't seen a single soul since 6 in the morning. I've been walking for about 8 hours already. It's sunny, but it's windy. Clouds are beginning to build up on the mountains, but yeah, should almost can't wait to reach Jomsom, man. Really hungry. Got no water, so I gotta save my energy.
My feet hurt so bad that I had to take off my shoes and put on my slippers, and even that hurt. In the final 2 hours, my footings had to be placed very carefully.
Hello there. 11 hours of hike today. The last 3 hours has been very difficult because of my feet, because of the blisters in my feet. I've been walking very slowly. It's almost 6, maybe over 5:45, and here I am in Jomsom. Walking towards any of the hotels. Just want to lay down and let the feet relax. I'm hungry as well. It's been been a windy day, very windy day.
Just before 6, I made it to Jomsom safe. It was a long day. I could barely walk, but it was just the beginning.
Good morning, guys. I'm now heading to Kagbani from Jomsom. This zip. It's a bumpy ride and the music is loud, but yeah, this is the end of the Annapurna circuit video, and I will see you in the next one. Alright.